that we all eventually turn to dust. Good for you. Good for you. You might be the exception. Death might not come for you. Well done. So hi. I've lost my place now. Can I start again?
Yay!
How do I usually? I'm going to ask my dad. How do I usually start this one?
Oh dear, in various ways.
I'm the one your mother warned you about.
Okay, I'll do that bit. Hi, my name's Chrissy. I'm the one your mother warned you about. Not because I'll break your heart, I'm just financially unstable and not very domestic. Don't see many parents, do you, saying to their children, you know what I want for you? The one thing I would choose for you before I die, it would be for you to get together with a stand-up comedian. If I could build this woman from scratch, a fantasy, a pipe dream for you, my angel, my only son, I would want her to be a divorced single mother with moderate to severe mental health problems, preferably depression and ADHD, so that on the rare occasions that she manages to get out of bed, it's to say, my God, what an interesting moth. I've got a bit of a weird brain. I've got a bit of a strange brain. It gets very preoccupied with things that really aren't worth its time. It's the master of the completely unsolicited deep dive, my brain. And the thing that it's been preoccupied with lately is a certain poem and what I think it says about us as a society and as a species. I didn't write this poem, it's a traditional one, you probably know it, but I don't think we're asking enough questions about it. Okay, and it starts like this. Monday's child, yeah, is fair of face. That's nice, isn't it? That's a nice thing to say, a good start. Monday's child is fair of face. If you're born on a Monday, you're probably very attractive. At least I assume that's what they mean by fair. Fair can have a few different meanings though, can't it? Fair can mean just okay. In which case it could be that Monday's child has a passable face. Damning with faint praise really, isn't it? Fair can also mean blonde or a travelling carnival. Neither of which can really be applied to a face, can it? So I think we can rule those ones out. And of course fair can mean, I suppose, the opposite of unfair. So it could be that Monday's child has the face they deserve. or that Monday's child, in terms of faces, isn't unjustly disadvantaged. Monday's child, like most children, has a face. I think it's fair to assume that they mean fair as in pretty, but you can see why this poem has such depth of meaning. You can see why it's been percolating around my brain for so long. Did I say percolating? Yes, I did. Do I say percolating every time I do the set? Yes, I do. Is it the right word? Not sure. We carry on. Okay, Monday's child is fair of face. Tuesday's child, full of grace. That's nice too, isn't it? 2 for 2. Love that for them. If you're born on a Tuesday, your body's very graceful, you're probably very good at dancing or football, stripping or something. Actually, if you want to be a stripper, you're best being born right on the cusp between Monday and Tuesday, because then you'd have the attractive face and the graceful. I might be overthinking this. If you know the poem, you know where we're going with it now. Wednesday's child, not attractive, not graceful. Wednesday's child is full of woe. And it's not even woe like Keanu Reeves, like, whoa, no. It's woe as in misery. If you're born on a Wednesday, your defining feature is that you're miserable. Fuck you if you were born on a Wednesday, according to tradition. So I was born on a Wednesday. I was ADAB, assigned depressed at birth, and in my defence, I have met, if not surpassed, my potential, so go me. To quickly finish off the poem, Thursday's child has far to go. If you're born on a Thursday, you pop out of your mother's downstairs area, the midwife immediately drop kicks you way across the field, the crowd goes wild. That's what happens if you're born on a Thursday. Friday's child is loving and giving, so if it's not so much stripping as sex work you're into, ideally you want to be born on a Friday. Saturday's child works hard for a living. He has to, because he's not attractive or graceful or kind, but at least he wasn't born on a Wednesday. And finally, the child that was born on the Sabbath day is bonny and blithe and good and homosexual, and that's the end of that poem. What a load of rubbish. Don't get me wrong, I think it's absolutely fascinating and delightful the way we as humans find meaning and patterns in things, but it can lead us to do illogical things like trying to put human beings in categories. And are you supposed to alphabetize them? I think there are limited practical applications to having all of your family and friends lined up in alphabetical order all the time. I don't think I can sustain that throughout most of my life. You absolutely cannot colour code people. That's just racism. But people still try to put other people in categories. Like for instance, I don't know about you, but I have some traits. Yep, I have some tendencies. There are some things about me. And a lot of people would tell you that all of these traits, all these tendencies, all these things about me were preordained by the zodiac sign that I was born under. And I don't think I'm an especially complex person, but I'm not sure that my horoscope can account for all of me. Like, when I recently put both my hands in the bin in a public bathroom because I thought it was a Dyson Airblade, my first thought wasn't, typical Gemini. No. My first thought was, why is there half a Nando's in here? Weird thing to do, eat Nando's in the toilet. Bet that person was a Libra, am I right? No, I'm not, it's bollocks. We need a better way of categorising people, if we must categorise people. And my pitch for this, okay, bear with me, the Dewey Decimal System. If you don't know, the Dewey Decimal System is the system that librarians traditionally use to classify different types of books. And I'm not saying that I identify more with books than I do with human beings, but I'm absolutely saying that. Look at me, are you surprised? I think I could only come across more like a librarian if every time you laughed I shushed you. So yeah, the Dewey Decimal System, 999 categories, still not enough, but better than 12 or 7. And it's a lot less cryptic. I think it works. I've made some tentative forays into this. I've started categorising a few people. My crush, the guy I've got a crush on, I have put under 611, anatomy. My ex, 616, diseases. And myself, I wasn't sure, but in the end I went for 157. That's previously emotions and now no longer used. These days, though, there are a lot more ways of talking about ourselves. There are a lot more ways that people can want other people to talk about them. And I think that's brilliant, but there are a load of people out there, often the same people who are quite happy to call themselves a classic Taurus or a devout Christian, who get really, really cross about the way people want to be talked about. Oh, they get so cross about the way people choose to identify themselves, so cross. I've been online dating recently, and I came across one guy's profile. Well, didn't come across it. As soon as I saw his bio, my vagina just, no thank you, closed for business. But this guy's bio said, I refuse to acknowledge anyone who uses pronouns. Now, if you know anything about grammar, you'll know where I'm going with this. I would like to think that that's a dead profile now, because the guy had a sort of grammatical epiphany about the words I, and anyone, and immediately by his own rules ceased to exist. The way I like to identify myself, though, the way I like to talk about myself is in terms of the way in which my brain is broken. Because a lot of my friends suffer from anxiety. I myself suffer from depression because I was born on a Wednesday. And one of the symptoms that I experience has the best and the least appropriate name. It's a thing called executive dysfunction. Oh, what a name, executive dysfunction. It just means that you struggle to get stuff done. But what a name, oh, ambassador. With this executive dysfunction, you're really stopping me from going to the toilet or making my dinner. Sorry I couldn't attend your soiree last night. I was attending an executive dysfunction. I was disassociating for a full hour in the middle of getting dressed, just staring at my own arm and not writing a final joke for this set. You've been absolutely brilliant. I'm sorry, I wasn't here.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up one more time for Chrissy Derbyshire! Right, we're going to